Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Insightful Guidance and Mindful Beauty. I'm Lily. Today I am going to get myself together. I don't know what I'm doing. I am going to talk about in this video the energy for the week, September 1st through the 7th. We are in Virgo season, but a lot of astrological events are happening for September. One being that Saturn, the planet of discipline, the godfather of like, you can't skip any steps because they're gonna make you do more work, is retrograde in Pisces. So for my water signs, I'm going to be covering the element of water, which are my Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It's going to ask you to deal with unhealed karmic relationships, unsettled things. And this is kind of like that last kind of push, because like all of us, we're going to be affected by the full moon that's coming up on the 7th, which is going to be a lunar eclipse in I forget what zodiac sign, but we're all going to feel this energy. And by the end of midweek, we're going to have more clarity on like who we have to approach and have conversations with when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. And relationships with any area of your life. It doesn't have to be romantic, it doesn't have to be partnerships. As far as like romantic, it could be business, it could be family, it could be all kinds of things. Relationship with yourself, how you're going to be dealing with, especially Scorpion energy, unhealed karmic emotions and lessons. That's big. I know I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. This is not about me, but I will say this. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. Mercury, Mars, and I believe in Mars and Uranus is also retrograde or in this angle that's going to talk about communicating how we want to grow with our emotions, where we want to go next when it comes to our extreme self-care, like real love, right? God, I'm all over the place because this is a lot. This is a lot for my water signs, and all that to say, like my past is coming up a lot, and unresolved things, connections on why I feel, or certain things have come up for me to address things in my past and how to really let go. And it's easier said than done, right? Because the healing process, it's individual. Obviously, it's everybody's on their own timeline when it comes to healing. I really do, and I'm going to say this on this video, pray for the masculine divine energy in doing the work to heal. I have to say that I speak to a lot of my clients who are mostly women, are all having difficult times with masculine energy and communication, and a lot of things that just haven't been right. There's a lot of evil, ugly, and hardship and suffering in this world. And this video and my channel is not going to really focus on those things, even though I acknowledge that it's part of our journey. All this to say that I with all the Scorpio in my chart, I had a very emotional, hard week. The energies were so intense, and no matter what I did in my mind, logically, I understood what was going on, but my heart was heavy and I couldn't shake that off. And sometimes real strength comes from allowing yourself to cry, to release, and to deplete yourself from that energy so that you can wake up next day grateful that you made it through and can get up and do this all over again. It made me think, because I wasn't going to do these videos, or I hesitated, or I procrastinated, or I took my time with them. because I had all this emotional stuff that I couldn't shake off. And what got me here today is the fact that this isn't for me. This is, I hope, helping someone understand their energy a little bit more and what these planetary influences have on us, because we are all connected. We are the cosmos in our bodies from the moment we were born, right? That is our birth chart, where the stars and the planets were aligned, the date of your birth. That makes you you. And that never goes away, right? This is our journey. This is our life. All that being said, I'm going to move on and say, for my water signs, I do feel very strongly, before even picking up any cards and just meditating on what I'm doing here with this element, that there is a lot of unfinished business, and surrender to the divine. Fiery climax approaches. One more. And this, like, we had that new moon in 0 degrees on August 23rd that's connected to the new moon in September 21st at the end of the degree, which is connected, right? So it's from 0 to 29, the last degree, means that there's going to be a completion. So this is the time, the beginning of this month, September, the first week, we have the eclipse on the 7th and a full moon, a blood full moon. So it's going to be intense energy, especially for my water signs. You know, you will have a urgent need to release some emotional restrictions, or I feel like you just want to rip something off your chest, like, ah. You just, now that you have gotten so much information after the retrogrades, now you know we are here, and that Saturn, you're dealing with an earth sign. What situation in your life is bringing you financial wealth and stability? My water signs are really focused on their stability, their finances, long-term wealth. But they also know that one thing doesn't happen without the other, that they have to invest also, not in just their resources as far as wealth and connections and people and contacts and, you know, all the things, but also in love, in relationships. And what the, like, I keep getting, when was it a good time in your life? What did the relationship, or what does a balanced relationship look like to you, water signs? Visualize the give and take situation, you know, that's that give and take back and forth, you know, how does that look? You know, it would benefit you. As a matter of fact, I invite you to, Four of Swords, meditate. That's my meditation card, to calm your thoughts down. Give yourself 10 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, consistent every day, to visualize the details, but also the feeling of what your life looks like, and with that person or that job or that situation or that career. Like, how does it look? How does it feel? How's it smell? How's it, you know, like really, really, really dive into your visualization work, because it's going to help, especially if you have unhealed karmic, a situation that's just, you know, it's not over. You know, you feel a certain way, but you don't know how to, like, start the conversation, or you just don't even know, like, how to approach. Do I text? Do I call? You know, like, there's all these obstacles. Like, I see my water signs, like, starting a text message and then deleting it and never sending it, starting to pick up the phone and then hanging up, you know, just like, nope, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because I'm not ready, and if this person doesn't call me, then I don't need to call that person. It's an emotional back and forth play that needs to end, right? Like, it's been going on for a very long time. My water signs have been dealing with something where they've been playing back and forth in their mind. Should I not? Should I not? Should I not? And you got to go into your solar plex and really, like, breathe, take breaths into your solar plex. That's your intuition. And calm your energy. And then just get to the place of love in your heart for it. Because if there's any kind of old, heavy, cloudy, resentful, angry, it's not going to work. Don't make the call. You're right. Just sit it out. Don't do it. It's not going to work. You're not going to get the answer. You're not going to get the message. You're not going to get the resolve. If anything, you're going to be left feeling like, why did I do that? Sit with it. Sit with your intuition until you have resolved all the conflict, all the negativity, all the, like... When you do this purge of whatever is bothering you and you visualize it out of your energy and you clip it and you own your power back with this confidence of a new love. And my earth signs got this too. They didn't get the wish fulfilled. I don't think but they got the 6 of Cups. So there's something here about love and, like, what it looked like for you in the past and how it was kind of disappointing. How could you make peace with the disappointments in love relationships? And if you're the one, this could be flipped. We all have free will. But if you're the one, and if I'm talking to you, owe someone an apology, this would be a good time to, if you know that there's no way of getting to that person to land, then write it in a letter, do it on a voicemail, something. Because it's super important to heal from this, especially my men, my masculine energies. If you're watching, do the work. So many women are doing the work, and they really want men to stand to the table, open mentally, spiritually, and physically to a higher consciousness of love. It's what we want. We know that women and feminine energies know that they can combat all the masculine stuff, the finances, relationships, cooking, cleaning, just maintaining all the things. But I feel like both energies want the space to soften, feminine and masculine, but can't, or are restricted or held back, but they desire it so much. My water signs feel like I have so much love to give, but I don't trust anybody to give it to. From my past, all I've ever gotten was hurt or disappointments, or people who use me and then they let me go. And I get that very strongly. Like, every time you have a memory of a relationship with someone, it comes with, man, I gave this person so much of my effort and time and heart, and all they did was disappoint me. This is the time to heal that and to not take that into the future, that those people that did those things, I think you got a lot of clarity on why they did it too. I feel like within the last month, you got a lot of answers to why the person or the situation or the job or the thing didn't work out. And now it's more so about, like, I'm going to have to be okay if I don't get an apology, but I need to apologize. I don't know if you need to apologize to yourself first, for having to repeat this situation too many times. I don't know if you need to apologize to someone else who misunderstood, or you didn't communicate fully, or your intentions weren't really aligned with what actually happened. There's something there that feels like you need to just release some sort of emotional miscommunication or timing that kind of set up the last 2 months where there's been no communication, just memories and ideas of what love could have been, should have been, but wasn't. And be okay with that. And let's say you do decide that you this resonates with you, and you call this person, you apologize, and you don't get the response that you were looking for. You're still going to feel so good that you did it, because it had been bothering you for so long, for months, weeks, possibly even years, because my Cancers can hold on for years to something that happened in the past 10 years ago. They just never forget. They just never forget. And I think Cancer and the Scorpios too. I think Pisces, because maybe they're the end of the zodiac sign, have an easier time, or they're better to, because they're so psychic, to say, yeah, I knew that was going to happen and it hurts, but I can let that go and move on and keep on my way. But my Cancers and my Scorpios really hold on tight to emotional disappointments and pain. And it's a time now to ask yourselves, is it worth holding on to this? And if it's not, apologize to yourself, or apologize to the person that you know you owe an apology to. Or both. The Highest Priest, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, because it's definitely like, if you give it up, if you release, if you just let go of this idea of what you think the outcome is, you'll be so much more pleased with the outcome. But if you don't, if you hold on to it and you just like have all your defenses up and why you can't give up and all of these reasons, and they may be valid, but if you don't give it up, you're gonna end up repeating the cycle with a new face, a new energy. You're gonna think that, yeah, like, I understand that didn't work out, and that's that person's fault, and I didn't get an opportunity to heal from it, or speak to it, or speak to that other person, but I'm gonna move on. Then you're just gonna move on to the same situation where you're gonna have to stop and try it again. If you are of that person that's listening to your intuition and taking action through spirit and intuition, your higher consciousness that's about love at the end, then you're gonna do it, and you're gonna be so happy that you did it, whether you got the result that you wanted from it or not. It doesn't matter. The outcome almost is irrelevant. I want to say the action of actually getting to the point of having that conversation out loud, apologizing, saying something, and finding the words that really move in the direction of love, then you're gonna be good. You're gonna win. And by the time that eclipse in the September 21st comes around, it'll be over. It'll be completed. The divorce will happen, or the new relationship can start, or you find the person that really is more spiritually enlightened. You become spiritually and more enlightened through the situation, for having the strength and the courage, and congratulations, and good for you to actually move forward in love, in your heart. Because I think the other part of my water signs that comes up really clearly for me, and this is the last message, is that it's, that whatever it is that's emotionally tying you up, once it's released, your new life, your body is gonna feel it. You're going to regenerate cells, I heard. Like, you get a regeneration of like cells. You enlighten You're like, there's a book called Your Body Listens, right? It's like that. Like, you water signs are deep. When you get to healing and forgiving and coming from a place of love that is not just for everyone else but for yourself and everyone else, and you renew cells. Like, I probably have never said this before doing an insightful guidance reading, and I don't know if I'll ever say it again, but it comes up very, very strongly that if you get to that place, and when you get to that place, could be by the end of the month, and all these eclipses and these retrogrades and stuff like that, and other personal planets, and you really, for my water signs, emotionally heal, the relief and the physical healing that you're gonna get is like I don't do medical readings and I don't do legal, but for my women, I just got clearing up cystic shit. Like, that's weird, another crazy download, and I'm just gonna go with that and leave it there. I hope this message helps. Please like, share, and subscribe. That was too much to say. No, not for YouTube. Book a reading, mindfulbeautylife.com. 45 minutes, an hour. I'm still taking readings and also doing Reiki virtually, so I can help with the visualization, with the Reiki, with the healing and stuff like that, because especially my men, like, I invite you guys to do a virtual Reiki session with me, because it's going to help with just letting go, especially that solar plex energy and the third eye, the crown. Like, you guys are super intuitive, sensitive, especially my Pisces. My Pisceans are the most psychic of them all. My Cancerians are the most I don't know. In any event, my info is in the description box below. I also have donate, buy me a coffee. You can click on the link there, and I will talk to you in the next one. I hope that this week brings you many blessings and wealth, health, and all the good things. Bye.